What's the deal? I'm LATWAN, and today we're going to talk about what is healing. Now, I want to knock this video out before, because I got to run to get to the track real quick before, so I'm going to knock this video out really quick. But honestly, more so, it's really about what is the process of healing. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know when you're actually healing, versus what you hear on social media all the time where people say they've been healing for 4 5 years or however long. It's like at that point, are you really healing or are you just saying stuff? Are you just saying shit? And we know which one it is, but more so, make sure you watch this entire video to make sure you get a good understanding of the entire concept that I'm, with my perspective of how I look at it, and utilize, utilize if you can get something out of it, utilize it for yourself, figure out to implement it in your own life and use it for yourself, as something for you, don't just copy somebody else, utilize it for yourself. But anyways, what is the process of healing? Okay, to me, the process of healing, it first starts with a sense of awareness. This is what my perspective is on. I'm gonna say this is my perspective on what has been the process of healing for me, as far as like with certain things throughout my life, because everybody has something that we all gotta heal from. So for me, it was more so of I was aware of it first. Like that was the first step. I was aware that something was obviously off. You know what I'm saying? And after that awareness, it would either, I'm gonna speak on it on a conscious tip. I'm gonna just use it on how I basically got into the buzzword conscious community or whatever. Basically, I just always felt like it was something that I was missing out on. You know what I'm saying? I've always had that gut feeling about myself. I've always questioned existence. It's like, what is the purpose of all of this? I've always been that type of person. I've always been introspective as far as like thinking like that, you know what I'm saying? But when you start thinking like that and you actually go down that wormhole, it kind of send you down like what I'm gonna call it an ego fit, because everybody don't rage, everybody don't come angry, but it's like an ego thing. So say you learn this new information, now you repeating it to everybody and all that kind of stuff. So basically, you at that second step of a healing process, which is where your ego is you hurt your ego, and your ego is your physical shell. You know what I'm saying? It's your body or whatever. So you kind of shocked yourself. So you start acting out, or you start feeling more superior of people than what you really are. You know what I'm saying? You might have the mindset, but at that time in reality, you're not what you think you are in your mind. So that's when you're supposed to do the work to become what you are in your mind. You know what I'm saying? But in that second step of healing, it's like it's pure ego. Like your ego just go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of new information. You trying to figure out how to put all this information and how to utilize it in harmony, you know what I'm saying, with what you already are. But 9 times out of 10, when you find out something new, and especially if it's something like, quote unquote weird, it's human tendencies to go extreme with it, to either go from one side to the next. And that tends to happen. I see that happen with everybody. You know what I'm saying? I see that happen with everybody. I'm not even gonna name specifics, but that's number 2. You know what I'm saying? Step 2 is number 2. But the thing about step 2 is you can get stuck. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of people get stuck at step 2. A lot of people get stuck at the ego crazy phase, as far as like with this new information that they got. They feel like they superior and all this kind of stuff than everybody because they know about the subconscious and all that stuff, but they're not actually utilizing that information in their life to actually make their life better. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense for you to be talking how you talking, but you're not utilizing what you're talking about. So that's always been a thing with me, is like, if I'm talking about something, trust me, I know what I'm talking about, because if I didn't know what I was talking about, I wouldn't talk about it. That's just how I am. You know, especially when it come down to anything metaphysical or something like that. Like I'm not, because I understand that it's a whole, that's a Rubik's cube. You know what I'm saying, with that kind of stuff. So you can't just be blurting out shit to people, because people gonna take extremes with it. So if you don't have a good understanding of it, you don't need to really be trying to explain it to nobody else, because obviously if you don't have a good understanding of it, obviously this person that's never heard of it before is definitely not going to have a good understanding of it, so they're more likely to go extreme with it versus you. But 9 times out of 10, both of y'all ass gonna go extreme with it when you first hear it. So, but that's step two. You know what I'm saying? Your ego, you kind of damage your ego or whatever, and it tends to kind of fight back. Step three is kind of like you just start getting an understanding of why everything happened to you. You know what I'm saying? You start, say you conjure up a certain type of thoughts. When you at that step three of healing, like you might conjure those thoughts up, you might even feel it or whatever, but in your mind you have an understanding. Okay, I had to go through that to get to where I am here. So boom, boom, boom. That right there subsides the anxiety. You know what I'm saying? If you truly believe that in your heart, you gotta firstly truly believe that. You can't just be, telling yourself stuff and you don't really believe it. But that right there, that helps ail that anxiety. Now you human, you still gonna feel it. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Like as long as we in these bodies, we gonna feel stuff. So that's just what it is. But you start getting like that. You know what I'm saying? That's when you at your step three. When you start being more understanding on why, like say you start feeling some way, and you like, why am I feeling this way? And then you can actually make a sane, give a sane answer on why you feel that way. You know what I'm saying? And it's not necessarily an answer that's based purely on emotions. You're able to use both, because you can't be an emotionless prick, and you know what I'm saying, and you can't, basically you just can't, you got to learn how to juggle both. You got to learn how to utilize both in life, which is your emotions and your intelligence. And when you start doing that, you know what I'm saying, as far as in whatever category that you're healing in, it helps you start understanding, and it starts subsiding the anxiety and stuff like that. The anxiety don't be as bad, and then eventually you get to step four is when you start utilizing it, which basically they call wisdom, back in the old days, where you start utilizing it. And then say if that feeling come up, you know what I'm saying, it's like, okay, you take that feeling, and then you basically, say if it's a negative feeling, you take that negative feeling. Say like if you're a person that you angry, you know what I'm saying, you take the anger, and then you go work out. You take the anger, or you know what I'm saying, you go study something that you want to go study, or you know what I'm saying, it's just something like that. You take the energy that's quote unquote can be destructive, but you use it to construct something instead of being destructive with it. So that's the steps, you know what I'm saying, of what basically healing has been to me so far. So, I like to hear what healing is to you, you know what I'm saying, and what 4 steps would you say healing is. Like I said, my steps are, how I look at it is, that's just how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I went through. So